I'd like to call the meeting to order. First, some housekeeping. Since our last council meeting, the province has moved into a level 4. Effective March 17th, council service resumed at the town hall. Hours of operation will be 9 to 4, Monday to Friday. To comply with physical distancing guidelines, there will be a maximum of 2 people in the town hall foyer at one time. Masks are mandatory when entering any town-owned buildings. The Great Beach Boardwalk will continue to be open with one-way pedestrian traffic entering at the Legion Inn. Parks and playgrounds will be opening this Thursday. Please be patient while our town staff complete spring inspections and the maintenance of equipment to ensure everything is safe for the children to use. Residents are asked to be respectful of all rules and the guidelines. The Eastern Regional Service Board announced the waste recovery facility on Fox Harbour Road reopened March 16th. Guidelines are in place to ensure staff and public safety. Their hours of operation are 12 to 4, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 8 to 12 on Saturday. The Placentia Water System Upgrade Project contract is scheduled to commence April the 6th by Edward Collins Contracting. Residents are encouraged to sign up for our Placentia Aware community notification system by visiting our website, www.placentia.ca, or by simply calling the front office at 227-2151. Council extends condolences to the family of the late Andy O'Reilly. Andy served with both the Freshwater and the Placentia Fire Department until his retirement, when he combined the total service of 35 years to the town. Our thoughts are with his family at this time. Public council meetings will resume schedule on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. Spring is here, evenings are longer, and temperatures are improving. There are many more walkers and children outside playing. Motorists are reminded to please slow down and be cautious of pedestrians. I'd like to call for motion adoption of the agenda dated March 23rd, 2021. Moved by Councillor Collins, second by Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. I'd like to call for a motion of the adoption of the minutes dated February 23rd, 2020. I first ask, are there any errors or omissions? Hearing none, I ask for an adoption of minutes, February 23rd, 2020. Moved by Councillor Hines, second by Councillor Collins. All in favour? Motion carried. I'd like to call for a motion to adoption of the minutes dated March the 3rd, 2021. Any errors or omissions? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion. Motion to adopt by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Move on to the action sheet. Any questions related to the action sheet? Any new business? We'll move on to the committee reports. The Executive Committee met March the 18th via Zoom at 4 p.m. In attendance was myself as the Chair, Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, Councillor Kay Smith, Rob Beauperty, Catherine Smith, Recorder. The committee has several recommendations. The committee recommends Council approve to authorize Rob Beauperty, CAO, a spending limit of $2,500 and $5,000 in the event of emergency situations. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favour?
Mayor, I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Councillor Fitzpatrick, yes.
I'm wondering what the rationale is for the spending limit increase.
Because the spending increases with a lot of operations of the town, such as the purchase of, vehicle repairs at the last time. It wasn't being done. You notice that there was a motion done, and the vehicle repair motion was over the $2,000 spending limit of the CAO. And previously, before this council taking over, spending limits actually were $5,000 across the board. The executive is recommending increasing it to $2,500 and $5,000 only in an emergency situation of the CO.
So are we looking
Mayor,
at managers?
Just one moment, Deputy Mayor. Go ahead, Councillor Fitzpatrick.
So as a follow-up to that, are we looking at the spending limits of other managers as well?
No, there was no other. This was a request put into the executive committee by the CEO to increase his spending limit. Deputy Mayor, you have something there?
Just a note on that. Like, one of the examples was a set of tires for a vehicle. He didn't have enough authorization to be able to go out and buy a set of tires for a vehicle, and that kind of stuff. You got to have the authority to go out and be able to do the simple business as a town without having to look for approvals at each council meeting. That was one of the examples he gave.
And I'd like to point out as well, Councillor Fitzpatrick, that all expenditures, the Finance Committee reviews all of the expenditures anyway. So even if it's done and the POs are done and the requisitions are done, the Finance Committee actually reviews all expenditures there to make sure compliance and everything is straightforward.
I understand that. I was just wondering with the rationale, because there were councillors that were adamant about reducing that last time when we did do the reduction.
Yes.
So I was just looking for the rationale. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? A call for the question. All in favour? Motion carried. Next, committee recommends council approve the hiring of a front-end staff person to the successful candidate as recommended by management. Moved by Councillor Smith, second by Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Next, council recommend that council approve the purchase for a rescue truck for the fire department and an 80-20 cost share with the province, with the town's portion being a maximum of $60,000. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Just for clarification, this is to apply to a provincial program for the replacement of a rescue truck, and the application is moved forward. We have to show a motion of that our investment in the project. Next, committee recommends the council approve extension.
Point of order, Mayor.
Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Yes, I'd like to declare conflict in this motion, please.
Thank you. Councillor Fitzpatrick declares contract due to her involvement in the business company relation. Okay. Committee recommends council approve the extension of the waste management contract to Provincial Ready Mix for 3 months. The extension will follow the original contract terms, conditions, and pricing. Moved by Councillor Hines, second by Councillor Smith. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Can we bring Councillor Fitzpatrick back to the meeting? That was it for the Executive Committee report. We'll now move to the Finance Committee report. Councillor Smith.
Okay. The Finance Committee met by Zoom on March 17th, and in attendance were Councillor Jane Hines, Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, I was there as chair, Mary Green, Manager of Finance, and Catherine Smith as recorder. And the Finance Committee made the following recommendations. That council approved payment from invoice from Infotech Systems Corp in the amount of $9,775, including HST, for renewal of 100 hours of professional technical support.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That council approve payment of invoice from MJ Hickey Construction Limited in the amount of $1,006.25, including HST, for a 5-hour rental of excavator for emergency water main repairs on February the 13th, 2021.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approve payment of invoice from Parkland Corporation in the amount of $1,079.76 for furnace oil at the arena.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approve payment of invoice from Receiver General of Canada in the amount of $1,103.83 for renewal of radio license.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approve payment of invoice from Workplace Newfoundland in the amount of $18,583.23 for workers' compensation.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approve the remaining accounts payable transaction journal dated March 12th, 2021 in the amount of $5,473.20.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approve the check register for the operating account in the amount of $197,462.05 for checks numbered 029217 to 029315.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approved the check register for the special accounts in the amount of $18,808.04.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? Deputy, you have your hand up. Is there a question? I see there's a hand up on your,
No, gone.
on the deputy. Nope. No questions?
No questions.
All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approved the visa statement dated February the 16th to March 1st, 2021 in the amount of $242.70.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Deputy Mayor, any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approved request from the Recreation Committee in the amount of $2,500 to build a storage shed at the splash pad site.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins, any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That council approved quote from Safe Pace 100 for the repair of 6 radar signs at a cost of $3,416.65, including HST.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins Power, any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
And that's the report.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. We move to the Public Works and Safety Committee report. Councillor Collins Power.
Our committee met on March the 16th via Zoom, and in attendance was myself as chair, Deputy Mayor Pearson, Councillor Noella Collins, and staff representation was Adam Green, Public Works Superintendent, and Catherine Smith was our recorder. We have just 2 recommendations. The first one is that I need to, I believe, Catherine is our recorder, so I think she's going to declare conflict on this one.
And me too.
Oh, sorry, and Councillor Smith.
Yes.
Councillor Kay Smith is going to declare a conflict and Catherine's going to declare a conflict due to the relation to the applicant.
Yes.
So Robert, I guess you will take the minute.
Okay. The committee recommends that council approve a permit application from Jason Manning to construct a garage at number 55 Freshwater Crescent. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power, second by Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The committee
One moment, Councillor
yes.
Collins, please.
So for the next motion, I think I have to declare conflict.
Councillor Fitzpatrick declare the
not
relation
sure.
with the applicant, one of the
Yep.
submitters.
Okay. The committee recommends that council approve the equipment standing offer results as presented. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power, second. Councillor Collins. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
That was all we had. Just a couple of items I'll just run through quickly. There's a number of action items here for our superintendent, but just a couple regarding the let's see, what's my report here? The anti-litter regulations were sent out, and we are now looking at some, there's been a couple of concerns that have come up since then, and superintendent is going to review the regulations, and then he's going to report back to the committee, and we'll see where we go from there. Also regarding, there's also some upcoming tenders that will be coming out shortly. Some of those, of course, are seasonal, like our street sweeping, line painting, things like that. So that people will probably see those on our website and social media. The RCMP February report, there was 38 files, and our detachment assisted other detachments on 4 different occasions. And as we've already have stated about the radar signs, 6 of those will be repaired. Our residents may notice that they are down, and that is due to, well, I guess they'll be, now that the weather's improving, they'll be going back up. But during the winter months, we tend to take those off the main, especially the main roads where the highways, trucks, and there's a lot more traffic, just because they do get damaged. And that's why we're seeing some of these repairs that have to be done. But we will assess that as needed. And in the winter months, if they do need to go to a not so, a lot of traffic and things like that, we can put them on side streets. So, but you'll start seeing those around now as the weather improves and as we get them back from the repair. But our plan is to have 6, and I believe 2 on hand for if something should come up and we need to take them out to replace the signs that are damaged. Hopefully no damages, but you never know. So we're getting ready for that. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Collins Power. We'll move on to the Culture, Tourism and Beautification report.
Right, just 1 second now, I'll bring mine up. All right, we met on March 8th by Zoom. In attendance was myself, Councillor Kay Smith, Councillor Jamie Lee Fitzpatrick, the manager of marketing communications, Rhonda Power, and Catherine Smith was our recorder. The Voices 350 meeting is scheduled for March 9th. Funding has been applied for, and events are planned following the guidelines. Just to let you, there was no recommendations at this for this meeting either. Comment update: the land has been legally surveyed, and we're reviewing a MOU to forward to the parish and review for council approval. Canada Celebrate Canada funding, we were awarded $2,400, which we agreed that we would put $2,000 towards fireworks and allow $400 for the multicultural event. Canadian Owners and Pilots Association event. We were approached by these people to have an aviation themed event down at the Argentia runways, and we're in discussion with that. We figured that would go good for the Argentia day next year, so we're going to be in discussion with them for that. And the Hospitality Newfoundland General Meeting was a virtual event March 2nd, and the manager circulated the minutes for review. And that's it for all of our meeting. And the meeting was finished at 8:30.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. Next, move to the Recreation Committee report. Deputy Mayor.
Recreation Committee met on March the 16th via Zoom. In attendance was myself as the chair, Councillor Hines, and Councillor Collins Power. The manager of Recreation Community Program, Mr. Pike, and Ms. Smith was doing the recording. The committee referred the $2,500 for a storage shed to the Finance Committee that was approved earlier. That was for the electrical of the splash pad. So the electrical had to go in somewhere, just for a note on that. So that's what that was for. Of course, the arena update with the ice has been removed, unfortunately. So we're in the same situation where we were last year. Just to let you know, the guys that are still working hard, I've viewed some of the boxes that are being built. They are really, really nice boxes they got done. There are going to be 15 boxes placed throughout the town. Great job done on them. So, even though the arena shut down, these guys are still busy doing other stuff that we'll see around. The mayor talked about the boardwalk earlier. We talked about the playgrounds and the inspections. And just a note on that, there was a swing, a wheelchair swing, budgeted in this year's for this year's budget for fresh water. So we talked about getting a price on that for the manager to see can we get ready for the upcoming season. So that's being looked at also to help with the not only one in Dunville, so they wouldn't have to travel, or sorry, not have only travel to Southeast, to be one in Freshwater also. We're going to partnership with the Freshwater Community Centre on that. That was what we talked about. We're going to reach out to them on that. Winter Carnival, there was a lot of pop-up events. Things went really well with that. There was great success. Just want to thank anybody who was involved in the background, getting that all put out there and taking the submissions and drawing the names. So that went over really well. And other than that, that was it. If there's any questions, that was it for the meeting.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And just one point there that yes, we are building some more of those garbage boxes. The boxes are going to be placed around the town. We got them at some of the more central places, like the lookouts and around the playground areas. But we're looking at putting some garbage boxes along the travel areas, along some of the roadways there, and that people may be able to walking out there, give them a place to, throw out their garbage if they're walking, get water bottles, whatever the case. So certainly 15 more. We hope that they're going to be utilised. And again, we'll encourage residents to not be throwing out garbage because the town is trying to be active now, and we're trying to get to promote it. So obviously, with just one moment, Councillor Hines, yeah. So obviously, with the with the town, we're trying to do our part, and we're asking residents to do their part as well. We've asked businesses to put out those cans outside in front of the businesses. The more places we can have to try to get it instead of on the streets, there's certainly better there. So I would encourage, I would ask that anybody out there try to do their part and look for a place if you're going to have garbage in your car to throw it out into those receptacles, not out onto the streets. Councillor Hines.
I think we might have failed to mention that these actually are more than just a garbage bin. They actually have a second bin for recycling as well. So
Correct.
Right. So we'll be, you're able to differentiate between your recycling and your garbage.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Good. So we're going to be able to try to collect a lot of the refuse. So that's good. Okay. Any other questions? No. Move on to the community engagement and communication report. Councillor Hines.
Thank you, Mayor. We met on March 10th, again through Zoom, and I was there as chair, Councillor Kay Smith, Councillor Jamie Lee Fitzpatrick, Rhonda Power, the manager of tours and marketing communications, and Catherine Smith as recorder. We have no recommendations at this time. We discussed the municipal highlights, the highlights for February, and we're remind people about the deadlines coming up and the adjustments in the tax discount times and that kind of stuff. And they always can check the town website for that information and the adjustments on that, or you can certainly call the town and talk to someone about that. The manager will continue to put out messages on social media and remind residents to obtain accurate information about COVID-19 as well. It's not as it was. I think Councillor Fitzpatrick reminded us of that earlier in discussion. It's not as it was in the earlier levels, and they're going to be changing in the alert levels. So we're trying to be as responsive to that and direct people directly to the most up-to-date correct information, which is the gov.nl.ca COVID. And, so we're going to be reminding people to check on that and not just take it off Facebook for advice or for correct knowledge. We do have a newsletter coming out. We were delayed a little bit, and working from home and stuff has certainly put a hinder on us getting, me included, about getting some of our submissions done for the committee videos and stuff as well. So we'll put a big push on that for the next couple of weeks to make sure that's done. We're going to have different submissions from the different committees and give kind of a newsletter, be a review of 2020 and priorities for 2021. And the videos will actually be of all the committee chairs presenting that. And from that, people will be able to submit questions and have them reviewed and answered. Other than that, we're really just trying to keep everyone abreast of the information that's coming out. Make sure people, know they can pick up the phone and call and ask a question to the town. They can email, they can tag us in a Facebook, social media, and just trying to keep, even though our doors are open now, never feel that you're not connected to the town in any way. And we'll do what we can to keep that communication open. Our next meeting is for April 6th, and hopefully by then we'll actually have our videos completed. And in whatever way we have to do that, we might be doing it with our own phone and sending it, but we'll get it done. And Mayor, that means you. So we'll be looking forward to that. And again, if anyone has any questions or concerns or recommendations, feel free to let us know at the town.
Thank you, Councillor Hines. And yes, it's a great idea too, is with the videos, a lot of people probably don't understand, all the operations of council. And because of all the committees, and you'll hear the reports come into meeting, but there's a lot of work goes in the individual councils and their committees. So this is actually going to give you a little chance for people to get a peak view of 2020, what was involved from the committees and what type of stuff they're doing, recommendations, so on and so forth. So it's really a great opportunity to actually, let the residents see the stuff that's being done as well. So good job on that, and yes, I'm looking forward. Hey, thank you. Economic Development Committee, Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Mayor. The Economic Development Committee met on March the 8th, and in attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Collins-Power, and Councillor Collins, the CEO, Mr. Beautray, and our recorder was Ms. Smith. We had correspondence that was received from a member of the research team at the University of British Columbia who was looking for participation from somebody within the town on the impacts of local government reforms and on rural and small town communities. The CAO participated in the interview, and it was really broad regional reporting is what's going to come out. The responses are going to be amalgamated, and we'll be privy to the report once it's released. So we'll share that with the rest of council once that becomes available. We are conducting some research on vehicle usage and infrastructure upgrades to various economic hubs within the province over the last 10 years to look into another initiative that we're starting to pursue, and I can't really get into that right now. And the bulk of our meeting was spent on the business incentive policy, and we made some revisions to the business incentive policy based on some feedback from individual conversations with council members. And within the next coming days, the business incentive policy in draft form will be sent out to all of council for feedback. And I just want to reiterate that the business incentive policy is for businesses in general. It's not meant to replace or duplicate existing programs or funding opportunities offered by other entities such as the federal government or provincial government. One of the reasons that our Economic Development Committee came up with this initiative is from the standpoint that a lot of programs and funding that does exist within the that businesses are entitled to or can apply for focus on new business ventures, expansion, upgrades, capital works of making renovations or using innovative ways to do businesses a little bit differently. This initiative really is, and this policy really is focused on recognizing the contribution that businesses have made to the town of Placentia, that existing businesses through generating employment and through economic development from their business ventures and how it's helped the town to thrive. So just as an FYI for council members, in the next day, you'll receive a copy of the policy in a draft form. And we as the committee are looking forward to receiving some of your input and feedback around the milestones that we proposed, as well as the incentives that we've identified. And that's it for us.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. We'll move on to the correspondence. Any questions on the correspondence? One thing, we did write a letter. I wrote a letter to the Minister of Transport regarding the Marine Atlantic increase, expressing council's disappointment of an increase in the rates, especially for the Argentia portion of Marine Atlantic business. I'm not sure we have received such a response. That was about it. Any other questions? No. Okay, we'll move on to other business and councillors. Councillor Collins Power. I'm just
I'm just glad to hear that. Got a couple items, but I'm glad to hear that the waterline project is moving along, and we'll see some action there after April 6th. That'll be good to see. Just a couple of around beautification. I know we talked about that. I just want to also remind residents of a couple of things, and this has come up at a number of meetings. It's happening in all communities, but of course it's no stranger to here. Please clean up after your pets when you're walking. Our seniors are using the boardwalk and the trails, and it doesn't disappear. You think snow is going to melt away like snow, but it's not. There is waste bags around for you to use. So please be sure to clean up. It's your responsibility, and it is part of our one of our regulations that you clean up after your pet. So I wanted to remind people of that, and also to register your pet as well. I noticed some posts on social media lately about someone's dog is at their house all day kind of thing. I just like to remind people, and this might be off key or off whatever, but I don't expect residents to hold dogs at their house all day. I would expect you to pick up the phone and call the town and be dealt with that way. We shouldn't have dogs roaming. It's and I know I'm on a soapbox here now, but it's an issue for people, and people don't realize that there are residents out there that are afraid of dogs, and it's really important that we have a safe environment for them, especially our seniors, and we have safe walking trails and walking paths. And it's now getting into tourism season. We want to show our town as a clean town, and there's no excuses for it. We got the dispensers there for you. We got the you can register your dog, and it's going to make sure that your dog, if it gets out, the town will call you and make sure that you get your dog back home. So that's just my rant for today, but I thought it's an important one to bring up. And also just a quick point on recycling, again, on the cleaning and garbage and things. I'm hoping to bring this back to our committee as Public Works, that we're hoping to get some education out on those videos and our newsletter to remind our residents, or maybe, point out different ways to recycle. So I was just going to put a challenge out there to residents to start with one item. If you don't currently recycle, start this week or next week with your cereal boxes and your cardboard. And if you start slow there, I'm sure you'll see a difference, and you'll see that your garbage has certainly gone down a lot. And go from there. Even if it's one item your household does, it's going to help the environment and help out our waste collection and all those things. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Councillor Collins Power. Next, Councillor Smith.
I would like to thank Councillor Collins Power for our discussion about dogs. I am one of the seniors who are terrified of dogs, especially when you come around a bend on a trail and you meet a roaming dog. What do you do, right? So anyway, and also I would like to just mention people are still out walking in the dark, but they're not. There's nothing reflective on, you know, on their costume or on their person, right? So just be careful. Last night I saw 2 people walking by here, pitch black, all black clothes, you know, so. People, the cars can't see you, so be careful. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Deputy Mayor.
First of all, I'm looking forward to government getting out of caretaker mode and hopefully have some results on the election within the next week, so the business of council and everything else can move forward. There's a lot of communities out there struggling with caretaker mode being in the length of time it's been in. The other thing I want to reiterate is with the dog situation and cleanup and stuff. When you look at the wave wall, I walked that on Monday. You know, there is some work there we got to do ourselves that Public Works will look at cleaning up around. But the amount of feces and stuff around there was unbelievable. I mean, the town will, you know, lay stuff out and give people all the opportunities to clean up after their pets. And you know what? It would be greatly appreciated if people would look after their animals. I'm also another person that's fearful of dogs, and you know, I just like to reiterate thanks, Councillor Collins, for bringing that up. But other than that, that's it for me.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
I have a couple of things. One is around a point of information with respect to the status update on our collection measures in our motion that we passed at the last council meeting. Just wondering where we are with it. That's my first point that I asked for a point of information. The other piece is, Mayor, you referenced garbage bins and businesses, and equally important is the enforcement and education for people not to litter. Like having garbage bins at, you know, business facilities is only one piece of this, but if people aren't using them, then we're going to continue to have the litter, and we're not resolving the issue around that. And there's a significant amount of individuals who are littering within this town. You can see it now that the snow is gone. You can see, you know, the garbage around, but you can also see, as Councillor Collins Power and others referenced, around, you know, the pets, you know, not being cleaned up after the pets. The other point of information that I'm looking for is with respect to correspondence from a business owner regarding garbage bin policy and whether or not the Public Works Committee is reviewing the existing policy based on concerns that were identified by the business owner.
Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Obviously, there are questions out there. You're looking for, you know, some detailed information. On your first point, you know, with the taxation, yes, we have taken an initiative there, and the CEO has, you know, brought it to the attention that he wants some more enforcement on the collection. It is my understanding that the CEO has initiated some stuff there, and I would suggest that the Finance Committee bring a report back on the collection rate for the next meeting. Obviously, information there of how we're to or what we're to on that part. Second one, on the point of the enforcement of the, you know, the waste, so on and so forth. We have done what we can be doing there, and I would suggest again maybe that, you know, the CEO would encourage you know, such things, maybe the police to have a better stand, because littering is an offence under the Highway Traffic Act, I believe. So maybe it could be there, and the Public Works could review that again and try to come up with something what they would suggest to be say there. And the one on the policy for bins, I'm not really sure what the bins policy or what it was you're looking for, and I would suggest that that be referred to the Public Works Committee again if there's any recommendation to bring it forward for the next meeting.
Just a point on that, Mayor. That was already discussed in the Public Works Committee with Lorraine. That has gone back to the Public Works Supervisor to have a look at it and see if there's any amendments being made to the one that's outlined now that the concerns have been brought forward.
Okay,
Perfect. Thank you, Deputy.
Right. Obviously, the deputy is on the Public Works and he has information there, but Councillor Collins Power, you are probably looking to jump in as well. So thank you, Deputy, for the clarification. Okay. So thank you. Move on to Councillor Collins.
Mr. Mayor, just want to bring people aware, like with the fine weather coming, even though over the winter people were out hiking and all of that, and now it's finer weather coming. Like there's a lot of beautiful trails in our area, you know, we want you to use them, but just make sure that you're aware of where you're to when you're going in your on your hiking adventures. Your phones can pick up, you know, you can certainly mark on your phone once you open the app on your phone as to where you're to, in case you get sidetracked or lost or whatever. But just make sure, like, you know the apps on your phone for such thing as hiking. And when you're out there, if you're doing up your little boil ups, just make sure that you clean up your mess and take your garbage with you. And while you're out there now with the finer weather coming too, just be aware of you're burning stuff, you're doing your little fires, have your little cook-ups. Just make sure that the fire's out before you leave the area. And reflective gear while you're walking. Most important thing around here is, like, I've noticed, like, there's a lot of people, like Councillor Smith said, a lot of people around not wearing your reflective gear, and it's very disheartening to see, something happens in the town and somebody gets hurt because basically they didn't wear reflective gear, because it always comes back on the driver, and sometimes it's very hard to see on the sides of the road in the night time. But anyway, that's about it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. Councillor Hines.
I'd like to thank Councillor Fitzpatrick, because I had the same question on the policy, with the review of the policy for the businesses and garbage. Thanks for clarifying that. I want to make a note. Through COVID, we've had a lot of discussions, and people have had a lot of committee discussions on everything from food insecurity to domestic violence to partner violence or harassment issues and stuff. So, but there's another food insecurity has come up to be a big one, and it's local. It's very local. Food insecurity is not just not having enough food. I mean, we all have some level of food insecurity, because if the ferry stops running across the way, we only got about a week or so, and we'll be eating old turnips. But another resource for people that's easy to use, that's if you don't know where to turn, if you're in a situation now where you really never been here before, or you don't know who to call, or you don't know what to do, there is another service that's available here in Newfoundland. It's 211. And it's the United Way. It's actually a national service, but there's 157 different languages. It can help you, guide you to the right people to find help in your province locally. It connects you to the appropriate information services, and hence it's not a separate group. It'll give you numbers and connect you with the people that are in your province already set up to help. And it's confidential. You do not have to give any personal details, and it's free, and it's 24 hours a day, and you just pick up your phone and call 211. And it has a large uptake of people who really need help, need someone to talk to, need help figuring out mortgage or a big debt crisis, or even trouble with kids and stuff as well. So never feel like you're alone, and even though we're all jammed in our houses again, there's help out there, and if you don't know who to call to.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Hines. The only thing I have to add is the paving contract for Route 100 and Southeast, was awarded last year. However, we didn't see any paving. So certainly sure, we're going to be lobbying the government, as outlined in committee reports here tonight. Spring is on us. Our own projects are moving forward, and we'll lobby the government, and hopefully we can get a quick start on the paving. Certainly, in anticipation of the ferry coming again this year. Hopefully it's still on track, even though it's 2 weeks. We certainly would like to have this done as soon as possible. So there's going to be lobbying there. So the contract was awarded, and we will be lobbying government to try to get an early, quick start on that. In addition to that, some new capital works. Obviously, the government's in caretaker mode. We did make application under for some new capital works projects. I think the some flooding on the flats of Jersey side, some flooding up on Station Road, and some sewer issues out in Freshwater. I think were the 3 applications. Government has been reviewing some of the applications now, so hopefully we get some good news and positive news, so we get some more additional funding to get some more work being done. And that's about all I have to add for now. So thank you all, everybody. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Collins, second by Councillor Hines. Meeting is adjourned. Good night all.